It is the highly decorated
Seven
captain
time.
of the Melbourne
Seven
Demons
time.
Football Club, Max Gawn.
7
Yeah.
times.
Welcome into
morning.
the studio.
Look at that.
Thank you for having me.
Seven-time
Seven
All-Australian,
times.
Max. You're a
Wow.
star.
Greatest ever ruckman in the history of the game.
By if you count in Blazers, as that's the
That is what
Well,
I'm
that's,
counting.
the reason.
that's the one you said to count. As part of this.
I'm glad you're bringing our off-air conversation. No, obviously Cox. I think Cox is 6.
Yeah.
And then we're just talking
Mason Cox.
Yeah, Mason.
Yeah.
All-American.
This is AFL. I think All-Australian is literally coincides of when it was AFL. So some of the greatest ruckmen of yesteryear could potentially have been there, but like Salmon and Polly Farmer and whatnot. But it's been Cox that have cleaned up recently.
Was it a good
What
night?
is it like? Yeah, what's
Yeah.
it like when you're... I mean, because I imagine if you're going for the first time, Daisy...
Why are
it's
you
that-
talking to me?
Well,
Because I
yeah,
went
I mean,
once and
you
got
won
one.
one. Yeah.
That's 100%.
You go... Strike rate, pretty good strike rate.
correct.
But you go the first time, there would be this huge nervousness, anticipation. It's your franking as one of the best players in the game. But you've literally won 7 of them now. What's the experience like at that point of your career?
I actually really like going to the award, and I'm lucky enough I've been to a few, but to go see Bont absolutely clean up. I think Bont's the best player of our generation. Oh, that's harsh on. It's very harsh on Dusty. Dusty has done some amazing
not
stuff.
bad.
Bont's a little bit younger, but what he's been able to do, and then to take, I think he cleaned up. He got MVP, All-Australian captain, best captain, and he's 6th Blazer, I think. So to go and watch that, I really like going to see that. There's been a couple times where All-Australian, unfortunately, was the year I was All-Australian captain was Zoom, so I didn't get to experience that night. But yeah, I'm one of my goals. I'll keep answering questions that no one asked, but one of my goals at the start of the year was
You keep going. We'll edit in some questions later.
is I've been sharing the role with Brody and Luke over the last 3 years, and this year it sort of got put to me that it's a chance to go back to sort of number 1 ruck role and see if you can do it. And one of my goals was to make sure I did it, and to see if I can get back to the form I used to be in this role. And I'm not sure if I needed a Blazer to let me know I did that. I sort of had some conversations at the end of the year, which made me proud of how I was able to get through the year. But yeah, to get number 7, if I put them all in a cabinet at some point at the end of my career, I think I'd be most proud of this one.
So is the 7th badge being sewn on as we speak?
Yeah, I made it sound like there were 7 jackets then. It is 7 badges. It takes a while to get back to you. So
2
I'm not
pockets
sure.
now?
I didn't study the jacket.
You had
You're
one
meant
job,
to be in a
Max.
good mood today.
And straight here. Well, not straight here. It looks like you've gone home because you're not wearing the jacket, but from the All-Australian last night.
Would I have been loud on air if I just come straight from it?
Oh, look.
I mean,
we can talk to you off
would have
air
allowed you
about
on air. We would have had a
instances.
chat to you off air.
Okay.
And see
Jay
how it
Mueller
was
would have come
going.
in and gone,
Yeah.
so man.
Right. So what's
let's
really
walk
going
this
on
way.
at Melbourne? That's what we would have asked you. Can we talk about this photo in the paper? You've been earned your 7th All-Australian,
Yeah.
and then the photo they have run with you in the Herald Sun looks like you are appearing in court.
Yeah.
Like never has a man
And you
looked
got bad
less,
news.
less impressed by what's going on.
I feel like I smiled multiple times during the night, and the photographer may have got one of them at some point. But I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I not that I haven't throughout the interview, but when I walked in last night, I was greeted by journos straight away, and it's a great night. It's a night of celebration, and I walked in with my partner Jess, and I just straight on the back foot. Sort of talking about where our club's at, and I get the position I'm in terms of captain, and I am the spokesperson because I choose to do this show, and then I'm at that event last night, and no one else is talking apart from Kate yesterday. So it sort of just took the life out of the event for me.
It took the life out of you by the looks of it.
Yeah.
You look rather frustrated, which is probably fair enough. But as you just said, you do have to come on this show and talk about your football club.
Yep.
So I think up next we're going to
Talk about your football club.
at least for a little bit.
Okay, I mean, if I came on here and didn't do a segment of the football club, everyone would be like, Daisy, that was a miss.
See,
Yeah.
he gets it.
Thank you, Max. So many column inches about the Melbourne Football Club, so much airspace, so much time. Your president, Kate Roffey, was on the radio yesterday. It's all about the Demons. It's the most incredible season of AFL, and it's all about your club, Max. How's your week been?
Well, it's been about our club Probably for 12 months, to be honest. It's been some stuff. I love AFL and I love playing football and I love the Melbourne Football Club, and I'm someone who likes to keep on top of what's happening in the news. So I've read a lot of it. So it is starting to wear thin on me, and but it's also making me quite patriotic and wanting to make sure we get the club better. And my role as captain is to be there for my 44 teammates, and then also have this love for the Melbourne Football Club. So those two things, it looks like they're potentially apart at the moment. I don't see it necessarily that way, but that's my goals. I've got 44 guys to look after and try and get them ready for round 1 next year, and they're the 44 I've got at the moment.
It has been the best part of 12 months, though, that your club's been under the spotlight. Does it get frustrating in the sense that there's so many things written that are factually incorrect as opposed to the actual truth, and the narrative continues to change externally?
I sort of missed the memo when you can write on sort of gossip. I thought you did have to get facts, and look, I categorically know in the last 2 weeks there's been genuine gossip because I've been involved in some of the stories that have been said, and it's like, well, that wasn't mentioned.
Yep.
So I do find that bit weird, but that's sort of what you get when no one's talking. So Christian hasn't said much. Clayton hasn't said much. I've sort of been here a little bit and said some things. Goody in post-match press conferences has been asked questions, but hasn't really been a lot of information provided from us because we are working through all this stuff. And Christian in particular, I've had some really good meetings with him over the last sort of 2 weeks. Some really hard, honest conversations about where we both sit with the Melbourne Football Club. I'm disappointed that we're not playing finals. I've been disappointed with things that have happened this year at different points, and so is Christian. And I've agreed with Christian and I've disagreed with Christian. And I think that's the important thing. He's not quite a vice captain. He's just he's in the leadership group. In a leadership group, the idea is there's 6 or 7 of you in that group, throw everything out there, and then you come out with the best thing to go forward. And we haven't quite got the best thing to go forward yet. We've still got to sort of talk a few more times, but we've got a bit of time up our hands. But right now, over this sort of next month, this is setting us up for not only 2025, but to make sure we don't dip back into this post 2025. And to answer the question around, is Christian going to be there? I'm planning for Christian to be there. I can only go on facts, and he's a 5-year contracted player, and until otherwise told, I'm going to plan Christian's there, and same with the other guys. I'm going to plan Clayton's there, plan Jack was there. Jack has signed.
You talk about the different messages or the different things that are pulling on the club. Do you feel like in a messaging sense you're all on the same page? Because you talked about the president speaking yesterday to Jared Waitley on SEN, and it felt like even her messaging was a little scattered around what was going on at the club. It didn't necessarily gel with the messages you've been giving us or the messages that Goody has done in the press. Is there a communication problem that everybody doesn't even seem to be on the same page publicly?
I think this potentially has been sort of the number one underlying gripe for 12 months is potentially our comms. I think internally they're really good, and I've had some good, robust conversations with Kate, Gary, Richo, Goody, and all the leaders and all the players. So internally, I'm really proud of where the club's gone to. Sometimes we can just miss it when we're behind the mic, and I've missed it a lot when I'm behind the mic. I talk a lot sometimes. And you can throw some lines out there that you sit back and go, potentially you shouldn't have said that. Was that Kate yesterday? I'm not saying that, but there's definitely been multiple times where key leaders have got out and maybe said something that potentially they shouldn't have. But internally, I'm extremely proud of the conversations we're having.
Track has a massive presence on social media. Do you feel like a lot of the commentary that if he did come out and just make a statement and clear the air, this would be a lot easier for everyone involved and probably more so your footy club?
It's a great question, and common sense, sometimes you sit there and go, this could all be worked out, but Christian's going through a lot.
Yep.
And I'm genuinely in Christian's camp with how he's feeling. He's gone through a traumatic injury that you put yourself in his shoes, which you can't, but it doesn't really matter. It's how he has reacted to this. And he's reacted, he's really struggled to it, him and his fiancée Bella. So they went away for 8-9 weeks. We didn't see them for a while. And now, he's got article after article and he's just trying to get away from it completely. because I don't think he feels like he's ready to talk. And if that's what's happening, I'm all for that. We just got to, guys like me, who Christian appoints as his captain, has to come out here and help him out for a little bit because he doesn't want to speak.
And are you confident that at the end of this, because the narrative in the broader media seems to be that because there is no messaging that's coming out, that it is a matter of that it will happen, he will go to another club, he'll find his way, there'll be a trade. Are you confident that if that doesn't happen, if Melbourne stick firm and say, no, you have a contract and we see you as a Melbourne player in the future, that there is a path back where the entire group embraces Christian again and whatever divide is there at the moment, that there is a path back to you all being on the same page?
Yeah, if I was at another football club, I'd be sitting there going, "Geez, Track's gone." Like that's what it looks like from the outside. I'm lucky that I'm not at another football club and I'm internal and I can hear Track talk. And he's only really talking to the leaders and the guys of the football club. So yeah, I'm extremely bullish. Whoever we have come November 11, the first day of pre-season, that group is going to be united. If that group has Track, which I'm like I said, I'm almost 100% sure that group does have Track. But you have to read the paper at some point, and that puts a little bit of doubt in your mind. But you've got to trust the conversations you're having. If that group has Track, I've got no qualms. I don't know what the word qualm means, but I've got no qualms. That's the
So
group,
you might have some qualms somewhere, but because you're not 100% sure what a qualm is.
that group will accept whoever is there November 11, whether that's Track or whether that's anyone. That group will accept that player.
All right. You did good.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, mate. I appreciate it. Sorry.
Joins us now at Triple M Breakfast, Rosie, Will, Daisy. You
And
might actually get to have
yes,
some fun this
Sunday.
weekend, hopefully.
That's exciting. What
Do
am
you
I
want to
doing?
have fun now? Like,
Yeah, I
you
do.
feel like you can have fun again?
Well, no, I mean, AFLW starts this weekend.
Yes.
Yes,
Triple
that's
M
gonna
Rocks
be
Footy
huge.
tonight
Yeah.
from 7 o'clock.
We're in Melbourne this weekend.
Down in Geelong on
Okay.
a Saturday night. I think I actually might go.
To Geelong.
Yeah, I went to the Geelong game last year. I got looked after in a hospitality box.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh,
That's
very
the only way to
nice.
do it down there.
yeah, I might ask for that same ticket.
That's the only way to do it, full stop, really. If you are a prominent figure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon. Do that. That sounds like a
Yeah,
fun.
the girls all came up to me and said, "Oh, thank you for making the effort." And I had a Sunday roast. It was great.
Thanks for having me. Let's
Happy
do
to
this
be
again.
involved. But on Sunday, on Father's Day, on Sunday, you are going to be appearing at the Junk Time AFL podcast live at the Basement Comedy
Yes,
Club.
it's Basement Comedy Club with Adam Rosenbachs, Michael Chamberlain, Brad Johnson and Josh Kennedy, the other guests, with yourself.
Wow.
Ah,
It's a fun podcast, good footy podcast.
Very fun.
do
Yeah.
you reckon I'll get some questions?
Well,
Hey, this is the
If
thing,
it's
because
fun.
it is a podcast,
boy.
you need to be careful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go on
That's
podcasts.
no, but you can also
and
edit them.
Ruckman
It's not
too.
live.
I mean, it is live, though. There is an audience
room?
there. Yeah, the
What happens
people
in the room
stays in the room.
Well, it doesn't because it's a podcast, so it'll make its way out.
Oh,
I've heard
believe
one of
this.
your live podcasts where things have been taken
you
out.
edit things between the live.
Will
and the,
Ralston.
Oh, so the only people that actually know what is said is the
Are the
people
ones
in
who
that
are there
room.
in the
Okay,
room.
People in the
I'm
room.
going to really look at them
Or
Yeah.
at the wine bar.
and make and
Hopefully they're not the same people
I'll be
for
on the
your
phone
sake.
straight to the Herald Sun. I'm going to take 2 phones.
Do you know the best thing about all this is my wine bar got some free.
Which one?
Motor got a free plug. It was in an article. I forget who wrote the article, but it was in an article. It was where we held a leadership group meeting.
Yeah.
Well, this is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Like, you should be leveraging this.
Yeah.
Like, say every one of these meetings should not. The meeting happened outside Lululemon.
That's it. Lululemon gets a plug every time I'm on. Again, we're in full Lululemon. The one thing I didn't say in the last segment is the relationship the players have with Track. Is Track is the most lovable character in the change room. And although at different points has changed because he's battling a bit of mental health, he is still the most lovable character in my mind. And he's been a really good friend for 10 years, a premiership teammate, going to his wedding in December. And if you look back through traded players, like James Frawley got traded. He's my brother-in-law. Doesn't necessarily mean I like him, but he's my brother-in-law. Jeremy Howe got traded, still good friends. Luke Jackson got traded, still friends. James Harms got traded, still friends. There's lots of people that have been traded, and you keep that friendship up. And he was able to turn up to our Wacky Wednesday. We had a dinner, a chin-chin on Tuesday night, which is very Melbourne.
On our way back from Bulla, we swung past Chin Chin on that little Flinders Street. Christian was in attendance wearing his Louis Vuitton, not Lululemon.
And he was able to hold court support. We had laughs. So the relationship is really strong. So there'll be no issues come back November 11 with track in that space.
That's been an official statement
Yeah.
on behalf of the Melbourne Football Club by
Thank
Max
you.
Gawn.
We'll see you Monday. Enjoy
See you
your
Monday.
weekend.
See you, Max.
Thank you.
Thanks,
See you, Max.